The world was in turmoil. A global pandemic had taken over. The entire planet was affected, with social distancing and lockdowns being enforced everywhere. The impact of the pandemic was felt across the globe. Here at home, Kenya agriculture, which is the biggest source of food and livelihood for many, was not spared either. In a bid to contain the spread of the virus, the government put in place measures restricting movements from one county to the other, as well as restricting traveling outside the country. At the same time, the pandemic also had a huge impact on the way farmers were able to work. With social distancing measures in place, they were unable to access the support they usually relied on or the resources they needed to keep their farms running. Small-scale potato farmers included.
Tulikuwa na changamoto wakati wa corona sana kama wakulima, sababu ya kutembea ama ile restriction ya time tulikuwa tunapewa kama wakulima. Movements ya hizo farm inputs ilikuwa na challenge. Hata market ilikuwa na shida sababu ya lockdown.
Nikiwa mkulima wa viazi, tuliathirika sana juu ya corona. Corona iliingia na ikatuumiza tukiwa wakulima. Tulifungiwa kwa manyumba. Viazi yenye tulikuwa tumepanda kwa mashamba ilioza. Hakuna penye tungeweza kuusilia juu hawakuwa na watu wa kununua.
When you look at the various commodities in food, Irish potato ranks second as a staple food in this country. And it has quite a number of challenges which really affected the farmers during the COVID period, that most of the activities could not be undertaken, and therefore it led to decreased production.
Apart from the health hazard which COVID-19 created, the government had to put in a lot of restrictions in place to sort of contain the spread of COVID. And these restrictions impacted a lot on smallholder farmers. For instance, the farmers were unable to access inputs. They were unable to also access markets for their products, and this negatively impacted their income generation and productivity. So as a whole, it's not just on the health issues, but when you look at the economic impact on the farmers as a result of the restrictions, COVID really affected farmers in Kenya.
Irish potato plays an important role in Kenyan agriculture subsector. It is the second most important food crop in Kenya after maize. It has the ability to produce large volumes of consumable products from a small unit area. This makes the crop an attractive commodity for the enhancing food supply chain. The crop has high nutritive value, including its value additions such as processing qualities for starch, flour, bread, soap, alcohol, weaning foods, and animal feed. Irish potatoes are mainly cultivated in the high altitude areas ranging from 1,500 to 2,800 meters above sea level. There are 16 main potato producing counties in Kenya, namely Nyandarua, Elgeyo-Marakwet, Meru, Bomet, Bungoma, Kiambu, Nakuru, Narok, Nyeri, Taita Taveta, Trans Nzoia, Uasin Gishu, Kirinyaga, Laikipia, Murang'a, and West Pokot. The crop is grown by over 800,000 households and supports over 2.5 million people employed directly and indirectly in the value chain. Despite its high demand in the domestic market, yields have remained low mainly due to poor agronomic practices, low application of inputs, especially fertilizers, low soil fertility, as well as limited access to good quality seeds. Most Irish potato growers are small-scale farmers in an average land size holding of less than 1 hectare. the face of the pandemic in 2020, the Kenyan government stepped in with a number of interventions to support potato farmers affected by the COVID-19. The government, with the support from International Fund for Agricultural Development, allocated significant funds to help potato farmers get back on their feet.
As an institution, we sat down and developed a proposal that sought to support the smallholder farmers who had been affected by COVID. And we wrote a proposal to IFAD requesting for funding. And we came up with a project, Revitalizing Irish potato production for the COVID-affected smallholder farmers. We accessed some funds from IFAD in grants, which came in 2 batches, and we were able to undertake several programs with farmers, together with the county governments, using those grants that were availed to IFAD for a period of 1 year. And these grants were targeting to support 8,000 farmers who had been heavily affected by the effects of COVID-19. Remember, most of the farm activities, operations were affected because the farmers' income were also affected. Farmers could not access inputs smoothly. Some families also had their members affected, and therefore it affected their family income. And this project came in handy to support them, to really bring them back. It was a springboard to improve production during this COVID and even post-COVID period.
Irish potato is one of the priority crops of the Kenyan government. So we thought it wise that it would be good to support farmers with inputs, things like fertilizers, Irish potato seeds, to boost their productivity in the short run. So this was a grant from IFAD to various governments, and Kenya benefited from this grant specifically to support Irish potato, since it's a priority crop of the government.
Production of Irish potatoes declined by 6% in 2020 from 1,978,952 tons in 2019 to 1,859,776 tons in 2020, with the area also decreasing by 17% from 212,976 in 2019 to 176,252 hectares in 2020. The RPSF project helped farmers bounce back to their production levels through input support and organized marketing arrangements.
We are able to quickly mobilize the most needed funds for the farmers to ensure that they have the access to inputs, they have access to extension services, they have access to fertilizer to revamp productivity. So the RPSF was sort of like a quick start measures for farmers who have really suffered as a result of the COVID restrictions.
When we received the grants were not really much that we could go to the 16 potato growing counties. And therefore, we worked in 3 counties, which are key in potato production in this country. The first one was Meru, Nyandarua and Elgeyo-Marakwet. These are among the leading counties in potato production. And from the 3 counties, the project targeted 8,000 beneficiaries, 4,000 from Meru, 2,000 in Elgeyo-Marakwet, and 2,000 in Nyandarua. Meru took the largest share because previously IFAD had some interventions in Nyandarua and Elgeyo-Marakwet, and therefore there were some projects in potatoes that that IFAD had funded that were ongoing. So this project that IFAD came on board to implement was to support the COVID-affected families alongside the ongoing projects that were being implemented in the 2 counties. And because none of them was in Meru, therefore Meru took the largest share of the project beneficiaries at 4,000, then Nyandarua and Elgeyo-Marakwet at 2,000.
The project targeted small-scale Irish potato producers with priority on women, at least 60%, and youth, at least 30%. The project had two technical components, that is, input support to Irish potato producers and improved market access for targeted Irish potato farmers.
The project targeted in providing quality farm inputs to the growers, as we all know that if you have to improve productivity and production, you need to address first of all the inputs. The inputs have to be of high quality and followed by good agronomic practices, and then also you focus on post-harvest handling so that you minimize the losses. So the project per family or household, the project availed 8 bags of potato seed and assorted chemicals that were used during production, and 2 bags of fertilizers. The fertilizers were both for planting and top dressing. These inputs targeted a half an acre per household.
The government of Kenya invested in the agricultural sector by subsidizing farm inputs and providing training for farmers in order to boost production, a major step towards developing the country's agricultural sector and alleviating poverty in the rural areas. The farmers were able to use more efficient methods of farming and being able to access better products and resources. With support and training, the farmers quickly set to work, taking advantage of the subsidies and training opportunities provided by the project.
Watu wa agriculture walipotuita pale ofisini, wakatufunza vile tutaenda kutengeneza kwanza shamba, na vile tutapika malaini, na vile tutapanda, na mbolea kiasi ambayo tutatumia ikiwa ni DAP. Na vile nilichukua hiyo mafunzo, nikakuja nikafanya practice vile walinifunza, na mazao ilikuwa ya kufurahisha juu sikuacha ile walinifunza. Walinisaidia kabisa wakiwa afisa ya agriculture, na hawakutuacha, walitufuatilia mpaka waone vile umetunza. Na kutoka hapo nikaona nimefaidika juu nilipata mafuno yenye sijawahi pata mimi. Kwa hakika sijawahi pata. Sasa ndio nilifurahia certified seeds ambayo tulipatiwa.
They seen instant increase in production through the offering of certified seeds, and also was given some of those farmers who didn't really see the differences between certified seed and what's known as the clean seed in the community, to be able to give them that opportunity to be able to try some of this new technology without having to pay what they thought was a higher price.
Mimi kama mkulima, ile nilifundishwa, sioni nikirudi kupanda hizo viazi mzee, tulikuwa tunaziita tuchocho kwa lugha yetu ya Kikuyu. Viazi ambayo imepita mara ingine na ingine. Sasa mimi kama mkulima sioni nikirudi kwa hizo tuchocho tena.
Wale niliacha kwenye hiyo mbegu ya zamani, bado hata wa leo wako nyuma. Hata wengine vile waliona, walikuja kwangu nikauzia mbegu. Na nikitembea kwao ninaona tu hiyo mbegu inaendelea mzuri, ni nzuri kabisa, hata wao wanaanza kufurahia.
The investment in the agricultural sector paid off immensely, as the farmers were now able to feed their families and even generate enough money to save for their future. The increased production of food also meant that there was more food available in the market and prices were lower, which led to higher income levels for people across the country.
The project came at a time when food insecurity was a challenge because of the climate change, when we had a drought including some parts of the county, and therefore for the farmers having received the inputs at subsidized prices, they were able to produce and boost their food security situation at the time. At the same time, the production happened at a time when many other regions of the country are dry and farmers were not able to get good yields. So those farmers who managed to plant, they benefited in that the prices, the market prices this year has all along been quite encouraging.
For you to be food secure, then actually you must sort out productivity and also production, the ultimate yields that you're getting from your farms. From the half acre that we put the required and quality inputs, we were able to boost production by more than 100%. Farmers who were getting 30 bags per acre, and they undertook this project and used the inputs that were recommended, were able to boost their production from 30 bags to 80 bags. Some even got up to 120 bags per acre. So if we boosted from 30 bags to 50, that's a difference of 20 bags. Those who went to 100, that's a difference of 70 bags. So to me, the project achieved food security at that time.
Due to the support that these farmers got, issue of food security was reinstated. You know very well that COVID-19 pandemic was very much hard on the farmer and on the agriculture sector. So we are very happy that most of the smallholder farmers were cushioned in terms of additional food, their tables, and again additional income from the sale of the produce. Yeah, you know very well that this packaging was done properly in terms of precise inputs needed per that piece of land, half an acre. So what we got later on was optimal output from that specific portion of the land. So the optimal output was okay, and it gave the farmer a portion to store and probably feed the family, and then a portion to market, which of course the project again was touching on the issue of marketing, the issue of aggregation centers, yeah, which was very much supportive.
In order to improve market access for the targeted potato farmers, the project linked 176 marketing groups to buyers. It also identified 3 aggregate centers in the 3 counties and sensitized farmers on the guidelines of an aggregation center. The government also provided 4,332 jute bags to the aggregation centers, each center receiving 1,444 bags. With the help of the trained extension officers, the farmers were instructed on the best way to store and transport their potatoes. They were advised to coordinate with the marketing groups and potato dealers for the best prices.
We intended that the marketing be done through groups for purposes of bargaining and also pulling volumes for the market. We identified 3 aggregation centers, 1 per county, whereby we trained the project management, the center management committees on governance, and also on how to market the potatoes, how to sort, grade, so that the potatoes could attract different prices. Additionally, we supported them with packaging materials, jute bags that were clearly branded. And it is in these aggregation centers that we enforced the 50 kg regulation, whereby all potatoes destined for various markets need to be packaged in 50 kilograms. We saw a lot of success because the jute bags could store the potatoes longer and fresh than the current bags the farmers are using.
Kulikuwa na mambloka hapo, walikuwa wanaingia huko mashambani wananunua hiyo viazi yetu na bei ambayo ni mbaya kabisa, ambayo hatukuwa tunapata kitu. Ndio sasa tukafanya grupu yetu ya Trinity Tumaini Cooperative Society na tukapropose kujenga aggregation center ambayo sasa inatufaidi kwa kukusanya viazi yetu pahali pamoja. Tunafanya grading tunafanya sorting, tunafanya bagging na tunaweka store ili mnunuzi ambaye anakuja anapata viazi yake na bei ambayo sisi wakulima tutapata kitu ya kutujifaidi.
Lakini wakati wale buyers walisikia sisi tunafanya sorting na tuna grade viazi vizuri na inaonyesha mpaka siku ilivunwa imetoka wapi, tukawa na buyer wengi. Kwa hivyo hatukuwa sana tuna store viazi, lakini ile kidogo tu ingebaki, pengine ni usiku au pengine ni siku ambayo ya weekend hakuna wanunuzi, tunaweka kwa store. Na hiyo wakati tuliuza hiyo tukaanza kupata wanunuzi wengi na soko yetu ikawa mzuri sana. Tukaweza kupata pesa na mpaka sasa sisi hii mlandi ikatuinua. Tukarudi pahali tulikuwa pale bereni. Hata tukaenda mbele zaidi. Kwa sababu tuliweza kuvuna na tukavuna viazi vingi na tena tukauza vizuri. Kwa hivyo sisi tunafurahia sana hii mlandi ya AFA kwa kutoka pale walitoka na sisi mpaka wakati sasa tumefika na wao.
We organized the farmers into marketing groups. We formed over 200 marketing groups in the 3 counties. Then introduced a digital platform that is known as Viazi Soko that was developed by National Potato Council so that the farmers could be able to sell their produce through the current technology of digitalization. So we enlisted the farmers into the platform. We also enlisted the buyers and the dealers of Irish potato into the platform so that they can interact and be able to communicate the market price, the availability, the quantities that the producers can avail into the market digitally, so that the farmers can access the lucrative markets in our cities like Nairobi or Mombasa or even Kisumu in an easier way.
The government provided regular workshops to update the farmers on the latest market trends and prices. The farmers were able to get better prices for their potatoes, and the market access improved significantly. The project was a huge success, and it had improved the economic well-being of the potato farmers. The project utilized an in-house electronic voucher system, the e-voucher, integrated with an SMS platform to manage dissemination of farm imports to the farmers. The e-voucher system was used to register farmers according to the provided criteria. The registration involved collecting the farmers' biodata, farm details, household details, and how they were affected by COVID-19. The registration form also collected data on farmer knowledge in Irish potato production. Once registered, the e-voucher system was used to issue farmers with vouchers for seed, fertilizer, and agrochemical via the SMS platform. These vouchers had unique codes for each of the respective inputs. After the farmers received SMSs with voucher codes, they proceeded to the input merchants, made their 40% contribution via M-Pesa payment mode, and then they were issued with the farm inputs. The e-voucher system was also utilized by seed merchants to manage seed deliveries by redeeming the seed vouchers and creating delivery manifests. The merchant signed the delivery manifest to invoice the IFAD project for the 60% payment for seed. Agro dealers also used the e-voucher system to redeem fertilizer and agrochemical voucher codes when issuing the farm imports. Then the agro dealers issued invoices based on the redeemed voucher, which they used to get their 60% payment from the IFAD project.
The project beneficiaries were availed with the list of the agro dealers that were close to their farms, And we developed a system for implementing the program because the project required that we use the e-voucher program. So as an institution, we came up with a system that could administer the inputs through an e-voucher system. And all the agro dealers opened the pay bills numbers with the Safaricom company where all the payments were going through. For the potato seed, we went through our procurement process where we identified 2 suppliers who had good quality seed and were able to meet the demands of the project.
The farmers were able to buy through M-Pesa, through the digital platform that was put in place, and they were able to get communication on a daily basis on the progress of delivery of the produce. So the farmer was able to plan properly on when to start doing this and that. So I think that is a key strength that this project had in cooperation of an IT automation.
The first step, we were expecting the farmers to come in with a voucher, which was generated from the Ministry of Agriculture, the registrations, and the offices of the IFAD and HAFA. And when they came with the voucher, they would also produce their original identity card. And then because we had the system, we would input their names and their ID and the voucher number in the system. If it was right, we would redeem the voucher for the customer.
In terms of accountability and transparency, the voucher is specifically sent to the farmer. We were using bulk SMSs to send the voucher to the individual farmer. So we were eliminating any probability that somebody else or the voucher could fall into unscrupulous people who may take advantage of the farmer.
That is the best technology we have had so far, because whatever we were transacting here, whatever vouchers we were redeeming here, from the offices of HAFA, they could note the same too. They could see the vouchers I have redeemed from this business. They could see a voucher that has been redeemed in another area. Like for instance, there are farmers who would come here with a voucher that has been redeemed elsewhere. I think they thought that it can be redeemed again. And then when they came, when we put it in the system, it was rejected. And when we tried asking them, some of them could say, no, I have not redeemed it. But when we called the HAFA team, the ICT team, they could tell us that voucher has been redeemed this and this place. And so it was a very transparent system.
We want to appreciate that model of engaging the agro dealers, because our farmers were able to get inputs, especially the chemicals and fertilizer nearer to their farms without having to travel very long distances to get these inputs.
Kwanza kwa mambo na kuletewa kwa mlango, ukaribu wa kuletewa bidhaa ya ukulima, tulishukuru sana kama wakulima sababu ilito cut cost ya transport, alafu accessibility ilikuwa kwa ukaribu. Kama wakulima tulishukuru sana sababu ililetwa ikakuwa karibu na kukuwa na maybe ile manual ya kwenda kupanga laini, ilikuwa through ukishapata message then una follow the remaining procedure, which ilitusaidia sana kama wakulima.
The project was a great success, not only in revitalizing the Irish potato production, but it also provided farmers with a much needed source of income during a difficult time.
Nilifuna zaidi, hata tangu nianze kulima sijafuna viazi kama hizo. Nilifuna gunia kama 50 hivi. Ndipo niliuza hizo viazi na nikapata kama shilingi 75,000 hivi. Sasa nikakaa chini nikaanza kufikiria, nikaona tangu nilianza kulima sijapata pesa kama hiyo. Tukakaa chini na bibi yangu, tukaona hatuna ng'ombe ya maziwa. Ndiposa tukaenda tukatafuta, tukapata na tukainunua, tukaileta hapa. Sasa Tukaona Mungu ni mzuri pamoja na IFAD, sababu sasa ng'ombe yetu inameiva na tunangojea sasa izae tuendelee na kukamua.
Niliweza kumake a profit of 200,004. Ile pesa niliweza kupata, na hizo pesa zilinisaidia. Nilikuwa na kashamba, nilikuwa nimenunua kwota pahali, nilikuwa nimebakisha kama 1,120. Nikaweza kulipa shilingi 30,000, nikaweza kulipa school fees ya mtoto wangu shule, na zilizobaki kwa sababu tulikuwa tumefanya kazi na mke wangu, niliweza kuwapeleka outing Naivasha, pale Lake Naivasha. Tukaenda Panaloma Hotel, tukaenda Lake View, na tukaweza kutembea kwa siku bila, alafu saa tukarudi.
My dream ni kuendeleza hii ukulima yangu ya hii mbegu, kwa sababu mbegu iko sawa kabisa. Sijaipata kama hii tangu nianze kulima viazi.
Although the efforts to support the Irish potato industry are still ongoing, the government is confident that the revitalization of the industry will be a great success. This exit strategy, combined with other initiatives, will help to ensure Kenya's economic recovery post-COVID-19 is on course.
The question is sustainability. Because potatoes, they also don't store for long. And when they don't store for long, then it means that immediately they are harvested, they are taken to the markets, some are consumed at home. So then how do we maintain that productivity? Then it means that the issue of, because the intervention of inputs is actually what improved the yields greatly, then it means that we need to have a system where our farmers continually access their quality farm inputs. Then we can talk of sustainable, improved food security. Otherwise it will be a one-term intervention, and the farmers again fall back to food insecurity. So as an institution or as a government, then we need to look at how do we invest in sustainable systems that continually provide high yields, ultimately having high production, both for consumption and also for markets. Then we can talk of sustainable food security.
When we talk about exit strategy, we're really talking about the things that the project will continue doing, or that the farmers will continue doing even after IFAD grants have ended. So as a whole, we're hoping that the trainings that have been provided to the farmers, to the extension service workers, the access to markets, the market linkages that have already been established will continue post projects for the farmers to continue accessing all of these things moving forward.